Welcome to my freeze-dried Thanksgiving. It's that special day once a year when we see what we can do with this turkey and excess food, and that's the reason why I want to make this video. Is Thanksgiving is one of those meals where we have lots and lots of food, and unless you end up having leftovers for several days in a row, a lot of that food can go to waste. So we're going to be freeze drying just about everything that is in a Thanksgiving Day meal. And it doesn't just have to be turkey. This could go for any big meal. It could be a Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve dinner, or whatever the holiday or whatever the occasion may be. It could be a family reunion. But we're going to be taking a look at freeze drying all kinds of food. Now, one thing that's common with a lot of the Thanksgiving Day food is a lot of sugars and oils, and we're going to be covering that as well. Plus, I'm going to introduce to you what I called multi-bagging. And so here we go. So I have my Thanksgiving Day turkey here, and this year I'm going to cook it just a little bit. I'm going to spatchcock the turkey, also known as butterflying the turkey, and I may even throw it on the grill. This year I actually have 3 turkeys I'm going to be cooking. While the turkeys were on sale, I bought a bunch of them. This turkey right here I pulled out of the freezer a week ago and put it in the fridge, so it's all nice and thawed, ready to cook. I'm getting ready to prepare the turkey, and so we need to pull out the traditional neck and the little packet of giblets and such, and we got to take out this plastic shackle that's in the turkey. And I think we got some gravy in here as well. And that's it. One of the reasons it takes so long to cook a turkey is also because of the big hollow cavity in here. If we spatchcock this turkey or butterfly the turkey, it's going to lay the turkey flat, and there'll be less, well, the mass will be the same, but it's going to be spread over a larger area. So I'm going to take the turkey, we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to come down here to the preacher's thumb, which is the tail of the turkey here. And I'm really hoping that these $all-a-dollar scissors that my wife picked up are going to cut this thing. So we're going to take this off, and I can tell that I'm going to have to get some better scissors here. So hopefully these ones will work. So we're going to cut off the preacher's thumb, and the backbone runs right up the back of the turkey. So we're going to make a cut on this side, and we're going to make a cut on this side and remove the backbone. Well, my traditional scissors that I use for the kitchen are not heavy enough to do this, so we're going to have to revert to the knife. So we're going to make sure we cut away from ourselves, and I'm just going to come right up through the backbone here. Okay, so that is the backbone. A little bit harder on a turkey than traditionally done on a chicken. We're going to hang on to this for turkey stock. So the backbone is removed. I just have a little bit of piece of, you have to clean this up. I have a little piece of backbone right here that I missed. Okay, so you can see how the turkey is splayed open. The only thing that's keeping it is there's a section of collarbone right here that has to be cut to allow the legs here, or the upper between the shoulder blades, to lay back. I mean, if you push down on it, you can kind of hear it cracking, but we're just going to give it a bit of a cut here, like so. And now that lays totally flat. And I think, is that the wishbone? I believe that may just be the wishbone. So once this is spatchcocked, we flap that open. There we go. The bird, the turkey, is laying absolutely flat. Now, this little device right here is a little thermometer that pops out when the turkey is done. But unfortunately, you know, poultry cooks around 160 degrees. This doesn't pop out until after that amount. If you depend on this little thing, you'll sometimes overcook your turkey. So we're just going to go with a meat thermometer probe instead. But this is our butterfly turkey, or spatchcock turkey, and it's ready to be put on a grill. Depending on how you want to do it, it can lay all the way flat now, and it's going to be more uniform for cooking. Now, because the spatchcock turkey is pretty big, if you take a look at a traditional roasting pan, this thing is not going to fit inside. So I'm going to have to put this into a larger cake pan to be able to cook this thing. That's going to fit nicely. Seasoning a turkey can be as simple as just using salt and pepper, but I always like to rub my turkey down with some lemon juice. I'll use the traditional salt and pepper. I have powdered garlic, I have smoked paprika, I have onion powder, and I have mustard. I mean, there are a million different ways of seasoning a turkey, and those just happen to be my favorite, but since I'm doing 2 turkeys today and 2 next week, a wide variety of seasonings. So I'm going to start with the back end. Salt and pepper. And do the other side. Okay, our bird is ready to go in the oven. I'm going to start this off in the oven and finish it off on the grill. And I think, I'm trying to figure out what kind of wood I have. I think I have some hickory, but I'll have to see what kind of wood I have to smoke this thing. So anyway, we're probably looking at if this was done in the oven at 350 degrees, we're looking at probably about 2 hours. Now, one other thing I need to do here is I handled all my seasonings with my hands and patted with the turkey. So I'm going to get a washcloth here with some isopropyl alcohol. So I'm putting some alcohol in this, and I'm going to go through and wipe down all my containers. Because I touched the turkey with these, I want to make sure I'm not going to accidentally cross-contaminate anything, because a lot of these seasonings are going to be used with foods later on this morning, and I do not want to get any turkey juices from my hand to the container to someone else's hand to any other food. It's just a safety precaution to perform, especially with poultry. And I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of water in the bottom of my pan just to keep the turkey moist. And we're going to cover it with aluminum foil, but we're going to do doll side up, shiny side towards the turkey. The shiny side reflects the heat, the dull side absorbs the heat. All ready for the oven. Unfortunately, I forgot one thing, is to put in my thermometer. So I have this little thing that my kids gave me for Father's Day. It has the current temperature right now being about 60 degrees, and I can go ahead and set the temperature here for 160. And this cable will go up to like 600 degrees, so I can put the probe in the turkey and actually put it through the oven door and then put the device actually on the outside of the oven door. So we're going to go ahead and insert this right into the breast. And put this all back together again. And into the oven at 250. So there's my thermometer, and I know exactly it's 44 degrees right now. My set point's 160. So it doesn't really matter how much time I leave this in for, because as soon as this beeps, turkey's done. My next turkey is going to be more traditional. I'm going to have to do this in a roasting pan because my two ovens in my kitchen are going to be tied up with the other turkey, plus with baking all the other foods. So this is going to be done in a roasting pan, put a little bit of water inside, and it's just one other way you can process a turkey if you don't have enough oven space. And these roasting pans are inexpensive and they work really well. I pulled the turkey out of the oven at about 140 degrees and put it on my grill. So we're going to finish it off with some smoke. And this year I am going to do pecan. Haven't done that for a while, and it's kind of a nice mild smoke flavor. And to keep this from drying out, I have a solution of lemon and butter that I'm going to go ahead and put on this bird. Give it some flavor. Our turkey is done. That is one good looking bird. So this is before. And after. So this is all the remnants of this year's Thanksgiving meal. Lots of food for empty nesters. Our kids took some of the stuff home, but most of this is going to be freeze-dried. And I kind of have a new twist on freeze drying, and it's something I want to call multi-packing, and I think it could be helpful to a lot of people out there, especially if you're an empty nester. I think multi-packing could be the key to enjoying freeze-dried meals. So, here we go. This is my freeze-dried Thanksgiving meal right out of the freeze dryer. I have my mashed potatoes. I have the yams with pecans, or I should say there's sweet potatoes with pecans. I have the traditional green bean casserole with the French fried onions. I have this sausage stuffing, and I have the turkey over here, which has been smoked with pecan wood. So, if I think about this, I'm going to bag this up. So I'm going to have a bag of mashed potatoes. I'm going to have like a half a bag of green bean casserole, half a bag of sweet potatoes. I'm going to have a bag of stuffing. I'm going to have a bag of meat. So I'm going to have 5 different bags for Thanksgiving meal. But what if I want a Thanksgiving turkey meal later on in the future? That means I have to open up 5 different bags and reconstitute 5 different foods so I can have this again. Well, I came up with another way of doing this. It might be a little bit easier, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So I want to show you some of these little Ziploc bags. I mean, everyone, I'm sure, have used the quart size and the gallon size, but these are snack bags, and they probably hold, maybe about a cup of stuff inside. And I've found that these are very helpful for smaller portions. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide this food up into smaller portions in these little Ziploc bags. Now, most of the food will come apart quite easily. This is my green bean casserole, and it separates very easily. Sweet potatoes here, because of the sugar content, this is really hard. And so you can see anything that's going to have a lot of sugar is going to be very, very hard. It's just the nature of the beast. So I don't want to blend this up because I don't want to end up powdering the pecans with the sweet potatoes. So this is going to have to be broken up into smaller pieces to put inside these little bags. So I'm going to go through with my turkey and my mashed potatoes and my other foods, and I'm going to put in individual portions. And I'd probably say a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup is probably what you'd normally find on a plate. So we're going to break all these up, divide them up, put them in the little bags, and I'll show you the next step. Before we fill the bags, we have to prepare these bags. Now, I have a couple of ways of doing it. One is with a good old paper punch, and this is the method I prefer the most. And so I'm going to take my bag, and along the top, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch in a bunch of holes. Down the sides, along the top. This is one way of doing it, because what I'm making holes in the bag to let the air out when this is sealed. If you don't have a paper punch, you can also use a knife or a pin, and you can just kind of go around and poke a bunch of holes all throughout the bag. We want holes in the bag so that when we put the oxygen absorber in the large foil bag, any oxygen that's going to be mixed in with this food will have a chance to escape. So I have my bag here with a bunch of holes, and I marked stuffing on it because years from now I'm not going to remember what this is. And so I'm going to probably take a handful of stuffing, probably not more than that, and I'm going to put it in the bag like so. Kind of mash it down a little bit. So here's my stuffing, and I'm going to go through with all my freeze-dried turkey meal and do the same thing with each component. So I have all 5 components to my Thanksgiving meal. So I have the potatoes, stuffing, the turkey that was smoked, I have the green bean casserole, and I have the sweet potatoes. And depending on how many types of sides you had, you could have 6 to 8 or how many sides you need. And then I have my storage bag, turkey Thanksgiving meal, I have today's date. So I'm going to go ahead and put each component in the bag. And I have my oxygen absorber. And that's going to go in the bag. So this is my Thanksgiving meal that I can enjoy in the future. It has all 5 components of dinner. Unfortunately, the roll's not here, and the pie is not in here yet. I'm still doing an experiment on freeze-drying pie. But this is option 1, which is just basically the 5 components in a Mylar bag that's been sealed. But I'm going to show you 2 other options of sealing that might work a little bit better than just putting it in the bag alone with an oxygen absorber. This is option 2. So I have each component. I'm going to go ahead and put it inside the bag. But this time, this bag is going to go into a 150-degree oven. It's basically set on keep warm for about 1 or 2 minutes. And out it comes, all nice and warm. So we have the bag right out of the oven. It's nice and warm inside. We're going to put an oxygen absorber in and fold it over and get as much air as we can out. And then we're going to go ahead and seal it. Now what's going to happen when the hot air inside this bag cools down, it's going to create a vacuum. and it can create quite a strong vacuum, and that will help reduce the amount of oxygen in this bag so the oxygen absorber can be more efficient. So this is packaging using the oven method. The third method is by using the vacuum chamber of the Harvest Right freeze dryer. So as we've done in the past, we're putting all of our components in the bag with an oxygen absorber. And we're going to go ahead and seal this like normal. This is our third bag of our Thanksgiving dinner. Now this bag is going to be sealed in the vacuum chamber of the Harvest Right freeze dryer. We're going to take the manufacturer's seam that's on the side and the secondary seam along the top that I just made, and where they intersect we're going to cut a line across diagonally to make a vent hole in this bag. And then we're going to put this bag into the freeze dryer chamber. We're going to run vacuum only for 2 minutes, release the pressure, and then this will be vacuum sealed. And then we'll seal the diagonal cut after we're done, but we'll show you those steps. So until the freeze dryer is defrosted, we're just going to hang on to this bag. The oxygen absorber is going to start doing its part, but if you have a good quality oxygen absorber, it's not going to be a problem when we go ahead and make that hole in this bag, because the oxygen absorber will be able to continue to work even after this is vacuum packed. The oxygen absorber just gives us a little bit of a safety insurance to make sure all the oxygen has been removed. It's been about 2 hours and the freeze dryer is cleaned out. No more ice. I took out the shelf. We're going to go up here to the control pad. We're going to hit the leaf icon, and we're going to go over here and hit the vacuum. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the door, and we're going to hit the vacuum for 2 minutes. It's been about 2 minutes, so we're going to go turn off the vacuum and release the valve. And we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to take out our bags. And what I'm just going to kind of hold them up here at the corner as I take them back to the sealer. Just like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and just seal these corners up. So I have 4 Thanksgiving dinners that have been vacuum sealed, and I have 1 that has been heated in the oven, and this is just normal. And we're going to give this a day and we'll take a look at these 2, because one of these will be quite tight. But I actually prefer this method because it gets more air out, not only out of the package, but out of the individual package, and there's still an oxygen absorber inside here. So with this method right here, and I've done this 3 years ago, and there's no sign of rancidity with any of the food. I hope you enjoyed this video on Thanksgiving dinner and using the multi-bag process. I hope you find some benefit with it in the future. Coming soon, I hope to release a video on what to do with Thanksgiving pies. I'd like to thank you for your time, and remember, please subscribe, and I will send you another video very soon, hopefully about pies.